What's going on, everyone? And welcome back to another great epic episode of Just My Opinion Reviews. Guys, we are talking Shogun episode 4, titled The Eightfold Fence. Blackthorn and Mariko test their new alliance as they train Toranaga's gun regiment for war. Yabushige must navigate his past promises to Ishido when an old friend comes to the village. Guys, I want to let you know that this is going to be a spoiler-filled recap. Me and my lovely guest are going to spoil this episode up, down, left, right, in, and out, as if you've already seen it. That is your warning. And like I said, I got my great guest, Miss Kimberly Kern from Southern California. Hello, ma'am. How are you doing today?
Oh, hey, man. I had to massage my jaw muscles because after the episode ended, I was left like this
Yes.
for at least 2 hours.
Yes.
So hopefully my face is snapped back.
It has. You look.
What?
I would have said something. Kimberly, the crap has hit the fan, and it is very, very stinky, man. I woo, like Mariko said, it's wartime, baby, and we're only on episode 4, and we got 6 more to go after this. What's gonna happen?
Episode 4, bro.
Yeah. It's pretty wild out there, guys. Like I said, if you love what me and Miss Kimberly have to say, you can follow both of us on social media. Handles are on the screen. Her information will be in the description box of this video. And like always, show this young lady some support. Subscribe to her channel. Again, link is in the description. Whether you watch this on my channel or her channel, because we upload the same video, show us both some love. You know what I'm saying? Help her reach her next milestone. Help me reach my next milestone of 50K subscribers. I got a full non-spoilery review for the first 10 episodes. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and now we are on number 4. Kimberly, this show has not disappointed yet. It's fantastic. And what I like is it seems like all the characters just seem like they hated Blackthorn at the beginning, but he is earning their respect towards the end. And I'm really feeling that right there. We also got Mariko translating all of his scribes of all of the crimes that he did against the Portuguese. I mean, actually, their relationship has been going back and forth in just this one episode. She was feeling him at the beginning, and then she got a little frustrated with him when they had the baby earthquake. Like, hey, man, you have no idea what is beneficial to my Lord Toranaga. Don't be trying to tell me this and tell me that. Stay in your place. You know, but towards the end, they was making out, they bringing in other women for him to knock his rocks off. And hey, did you like your gift? You know, was it good? Did you sleep well? You know what I'm saying? And it's pretty crazy. But I enjoyed it. I really did. Like you said, my jaw was on the ground at the end of this episode. But how are you feeling about it? You know, let me know your Driller impressions as well.
Oh man, first of all, Toranaga, I love that in episode 4 here, we are seeing him in a new light. Up until this point, he's been in Osaka against his will, pretty much, being, I call him a 5-star prisoner, because he couldn't leave, but he had all the accoutrements that a man of his order should have. However, he was there to basically take a lashing from the regents whenever they saw fit. So especially with episode 1, when Ishido was insulting him and his soldier got up to defend him, and he was like, no, don't even suggest that he would possibly be insulting us. From episode 1 to 3, we are seeing him humble. He is in a vulnerable position. He is incredibly vulnerable. He's just trying to survive so he can get out. He has every right to look at that man. He has every right to walk into all the rooms with the regents and Ishido and to remind them, do you know who I am? He has every right to even challenge them, to even whip out his sword and say, how do you insult me? But up until this point, we don't see that. We see him humble and playing chess. He's not throwing the chess pieces across the board. He's playing humbly and silently. Man, when he gets off this boat and he whips out that fan, honey, it's like your grandmother. She doesn't have the air about her till you get her in church and get her with that fan and watch her snap you real quick. When that fan is in the hand, the authority is about you. Okay, that fan was like, yeah, I gotta. Okay, if y'all see me in church next time and you see me with a black fan with a gold circle, I don't want any side. Already know what it is. Hallelujah. So,
Yeah.
but he is commanding the army. He is commanding presence. The way he holds his back when he gets off that boat, he's like, I am not in Osaka anymore. We are done with that humble mess. I am not in a vulnerable position. I get to be all of the main character that you get from Toranaga. And man, his presence, and I kind of saw how Blackthorn, up until this point, he feels almost as if they're equals because he sees what a value he is to him. He sees how much you need me. And so he that's why I think he feels the boldness to go, now wait a minute. Blackthorn and I, your guy and I have an agreement. Now wait a minute. I'll tell you what he needs. At this point, he's realizing who Toranaga is amongst his people. And it's like, this is a situation where you don't talk without raising your hand. And I just love seeing Toranaga in his rightful position. He is very commanding. He is very intimidating. And he just commands all the space he inhabits. And I am just loving seeing this side of him.
Yes, yes. I love it too. I had to hit the horn. You knocked it out the park right there. It is quite nice because, like you said, when we're first introduced to Toranaga in episode 1, he's got his head down. It's like he's frustrated, he's uncomfortable. Like, oh, these regents are getting on my nerve. They're harassing him. He has to sneak out in a little. I forgot what it's called, but where they carry the highborn, the high people. He has to sneak around, but he's not like that now.
Yeah.
Thank you. There you go, right there. Thank you. They're sending messages ahead. Lord Toranaga is coming. Everybody get ready. Everybody in the whole town and all of Ajiro stops exactly what they're doing. They're sweeping, they're mopping, washing the blood away, fixing the doors, the woman's like, oh my God, I should have bought more sake. And it's just a great introduction.
The good stuff.
Yes, the good stuff. We're again, learning these tribes, these clans, these villages, these countrysides from the perspective of Blackthorn. He's like, wait, whose army is that? It's like, that's Yabushige's army, but they're all loyal to Toranaga. And like you said, man, when he pulls out this fan, I mean, he don't even have to say nothing. Oh, he just whips it out. At first they're yelling Yabushige, then they're like, Toranaga-sama! Toranaga-sama. It's just dope.
Yep.
It's a darkness in Japan, and I forgot the speech he made, but it was nice. It was epic.
The most powerful is when he said, "Now I bow to you." He's political. He's also a political genius. He knows what the people want to hear. They're fishermen. They want to hear that he appreciates us, that he acknowledges us. They want that. You're really seeing how Japan, it really thrives in honor and pride. And I just love seeing that part of the culture. I think that is so beautiful. And man, that moment when Yabushige is like so proud. He's having a moment. He really is. And Toranaga is like, your little moment's so cute. Toranaga-sama, like, but let's get to it. I love how he stole his thunder.
He really did. What I also like about Toranaga is his level of patience with Fuji, because she's very upset right now. Because she lost her baby, she lost her husband, and now that John Blackthorn is a Hatamoto, I guess that's another word for general or high commander. It's a position of respect. She has to be his consort. I don't necessarily know if she's obligated to sleep with him because he kind of turned that down. Okay, yeah. And of course that didn't happen in this episode, but Mariko was like, hey, you got to do this for a year. And she negotiated. She was like, I'll give, no, I don't want to do this. What did I deserve for this? Mariko was like, you have new purpose now because, you have your family's gone. But she negotiated it down to 6 months. And
I love
Toranaga,
her for that.
yeah, he kind of grunted a little bit when Mariko was out there and was just like, she'll give you 6 months, or she probably gonna commit suicide, seppuku. But he was like, okay. I like the fact that he didn't go kick the door and he'd be like, I said 1 year, God damn it. And he was understanding, you know what I'm saying? So I got to give him some respect there as well, So
But that's
was kinda great.
also remember in episode 1 when we saw Mariko's power, when we
Mhm.
saw that this woman was walking like Fuji's husband, when she told him, she got him and was like, "You don't have a right to be mad at your wife. You're the one that spoke out of turn." Like
Right.
she had, and he bowed to her. So at this era of Japanese culture, women have a lot more pull than they ended up having in different eras of history. So, I mean, she's not on the level of Mariko, but he's like they value the voice of women in this
Yeah.
specific era of the 1600s more than a lot of different eras where there were times in history where in Japanese culture someone would have kicked her door down and said, "I said a year." But he values that. Also in seeing how gentle and humorous he is with his wife, he doesn't have he's not Yabushige. He's not that guy. So I think it's like, okay, fine. You women, you know what you're doing. Okay. And he knows well enough. It's hard enough fighting an army. Don't try to fight a woman.
Right, right. That's true. And you're speaking on the respect, that the women have. It did put a smile on my face where Blackthorn, he was probably trying to escape, on the ship, when he took that little canoe. And she was like, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" And she's like, he's like, I had a deal with Toranaga, okay, that I would get my men and my ship. And he's like, I'm sorry, let me correct you, sir. Your ship and your men now belong to Toranaga, and he will do with them what he pleases. And Blackthorn, he didn't even argue with her after that. He was just like, "Thank you for clarifying." I mean, he threw the oar down and kind of kick some rocks and stuff like that. But I just appreciated that, or like that. She just said it one time. She didn't have to raise her voice, and
Mhm.
it was what it is what it is, and he just had to accept it. And after that, they go and she introduces him to his new home. He's just like, basically, I'm just another prisoner again, with better living quarters. He finds out that he has to be in that role for 6 months as well, and that's very awakening, right there. You thinking
Uh,
that you're gonna head home, but it's, oh no, player, you're gonna be here for a while. Okay, so get comfortable. You're gonna sleep over here. Here's my room over here. You know what I'm saying? You want some tea and all of that stuff. Very, very hilarious to me. Um,
yeah.
how do you feel about him, and his defiance of not wanting to give up his guns? And the reunion of him and Omi, the nephew of Yabushige. First episode he pissed on him.
That
I don't
was
I
I
don't
had
blame him.
almost forgotten that.
Like, F you,
I
man.
was
I'm
like,
not
wait,
giving
what
you.
was the
Yeah,
introduction? Oh,
yeah, he pissed on him.
right.
Yeah. So what you think about that, with that little reunion right there?
Oh man, I just love that moment. The because the pressure's on. He's starting to see. He thought he was going to. We're friends. I taught you. You taught me. Great. Write me if you need something. Let me know. But I'm getting my guys to go home. That's so not what's about to happen. And I love that even though Yuki is just Fuji, she's not about this. I'm just going to be his consort and this is just how it's going to be, like at first. But I really respect how she took on the responsibility that was put upon her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she fought at first. Don't get me wrong. She is the daughter of a samurai.
Right.
She fought at first. She's like, you already know it's in my blood. I'm not about to let this go over easy. I'm supposed to cook, clean, and put out. No, no. I will give you 6 months of my time, and that is it. I would rather take a gourd from a horse. Like she fights, but the way the way she takes on wifey role, and when she yelled at him, Like they were going, he was going back and forth with Mariko, and then she was like, "Enough,
Yeah.
Anji, give me the guns." And I
Yeah.
think I caught something very interesting, and I think there's so much behind the scenes. I'm trying to watch as I go because I don't want to get too far ahead. But the behind the scenes of the Japanese culture, I don't know if you picked up on this, but I thought it was very interesting how she takes her garment and covers the skin on her hands. Anytime Blackthorn gives her something, I don't know if you caught this, she
I'm thinking
makes
about it
sure that she kind of grabs her sleeves and she never holds anything with her skin.
now. Yeah.
She actually only grabs it with the garment. And when she takes the guns, it was interesting. I saw her take her sleeves and then take the guns. But when she's like, Anji, do like she had that wifey yell, like
Yeah.
I know like we're both like not married, but there is this
Right.
yell that
Right.
your woman gives you, like, stop playing around, do what I say. Like she's all of a sudden like ride or die.
Yeah.
And it's not so much for Blackthorn, it's for the position she's been put in. And
Correct.
she's like, and this is why I believe at this time their culture listens to women because they're like, I may be the head, but they're the neck, honey. They are the neck. And she's like, just tell him to give them to me. I got an idea. And then when Omi's like, okay, fine, you give me the guns. I just about slid out of my seat when she said, okay, what?
Yeah.
That was so great. That
Yeah.
was so great. I'm loving Fuji and Blackthorn. I think they're going to make a great team. I don't think they're going to have sexual chemistry, but I think in terms of the position of like, okay, I guess I'm your woman now. Like, all right. But when I'm ride or die. Like, if I'm wifey, I'm ride or die. Like, this is how it goes. And he kind of gives her this smirk, like, I think I'm okay with this. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting you said that you don't think they have sexual chemistry because when I was watching this episode, one of the questions I was going to ask you, or at least towards the end, like, hey Kim, who do you think Blackthorn will possibly sleep with, Mariko or Fuji? And when I saw the episode the first time, I couldn't tell who that was at the end. I thought Mariko
oh,
lived and Fuji, because it was just a silhouette, and I was like, "Who's he giving?"
I thought it was Fuji because I
Yeah,
thought like, oh, she's just fulfilling. Unfortunately, she's fulfilling her role. She doesn't want
right,
to do this.
right,
But I did watch it a second time, and I was like, oh, her grieving consists of looking for some strange, getting
yeah,
that ill na na.
right, right,
Yeah,
right.
she's got a different way of grieving. Than,
To be
I
honest with
didn't know who it was at first either.
you, yeah, I'm to be honest, I'm kind of glad they didn't get together. I don't know why.
Who,
I don't want
Yuki?
who. No, I'm saying I'm glad that Blackthorn and Fuji didn't hook up.
I am too.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. I don't know. That just would have been too cliche or too predictable or just, because I know she doesn't really want to. I mean, if she wants to, fine. If they do by the end of the
Mhm,
season, okay. But I know
mhm.
if she did it this time, it'd just be out of obligation. And, I mean, I don't think anybody's cool with that, or at least I
Yeah,
hope. But even
I
like you
hope
said,
not.
even if they don't want to be in the position, they're ride or die, and that ties into the actual meaning of the episode, the Eightfold Fence, when Marike was explaining that to John Blackthorne, like, look, don't get it twisted about all of our customs, our rituals, our practices and things of that nature. We do that to be polite and courteous and respectful. But deep down inside, we was taught as I think younger people to build up an eightfold fence to no matter what situation we're in, we have a place to escape mentally and to be at peace. And so
Mhm.
I think she said something like taking yourself out of the if you listen, what she say, listen without hearing or something like that. And
Yeah, something like that.
I really get like that. And so I was like, that's very insightful. And you made me think about that when Mariko and Fuji are not necessarily in the positions that they want to be, but they're going to fulfill their roles to the utmost degree because they're good women and they want to serve their lord Toranaga and have been given a new purpose. and things of that nature. And so
Mhm.
I
And I
thought
like that it's not blind. Yeah.
you like that as what?
I like that it's not blind obedience.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Like Yuki, what a smart thing to take the guns. What a smart thing to like she's not just like bowing and doing whatever he says. She's really strategizing because
yeah,
it's for God and country. It's not just for you. At the end of the day, it's for God and country. And she's like, I'm going to use my skills, as a samurai's daughter. I'm sure she wasn't just pranced around with her pigtails. Her father taught her some things, and she
yeah.
paid attention a lot. And I really am loving that about the women in this series. Again, something that I love is when men and women come together and bring the best that they each have to offer and honor what each other has to bring to the table. And I love that this show is really showcasing that rather than, oh, the man tells her what to do, she tells, she walks away.
Right on. Right on. Now, I know you don't really care for Yabushige much. Has your feelings changed for him at all? When he gets the news that the Anjin, the barbarian, is now the Hachimoto, he's having conversations with Omi, his nephew, and this other gentleman that I don't know his name. And they're pretty frustrated about this. And he's like, man, your boy, I didn't know about the trickery in episode 3. Tomorrow is tomorrow. Ishido probably thinks that I betrayed him, and these are things that he's saying behind closed doors, not in front of Toranaga or anybody else that are loyal to him. So where do you think his loyalties lie? I mean, he's playing the fence back and forth, but after this episode, is Yabushige team Ashido or team Toranaga? What do you think at this point?
Oh, that's a great question. He is, I will tell you with all sincerity, he is 100% always and forever Team Yabushige.
Wait, wait.
I really think so.
Got you.
And whoever plays into that is on his side for that moment of that day. And the great thing is that I actually don't know that I don't believe that Ishido believes the same way that Toranaga does. Toranaga's like, I know well and good that Yabushige is on his own team. And I
Mm,
know that the days that I serve him, he's loyal to me. And the days that Ishido serves him, he's loyal to him. And on those days, I got to watch my back. But I'm going to use him the way I use everyone else. But Ishido probably is like, yeah, I'm so glad that Yabushige is playing like he's on Toranaga's side, but he's really on my side. You're playing yourself, good sir. You are playing yourself. Toranaga knows well and good, and I think by now the viewer hopefully understands that Yabushige, like he has friends, like that guy was his friend. I do believe that, but also, everything is he's terrible at chess because he's not on anyone's side but his own. You
yeah.
can't play chess by moving the black and the white pieces. And Yabushige is like, I don't know. I'm just gonna play tan today. Like I'll just move everything. Like he has no side.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
on his. But he doesn't provide much comic relief. But he always makes me laugh. Like because
I get
I'm
that.
like, here he this okay. Like he just this man.
Right.
He just. I'm just waiting to see how he's gonna screw this guy, that guy, or himself. Because a lot of times he ends up screwing himself. And
True.
like
True.
I guess I am enjoying those moments where he's like his army is like Yabushige and he's like yes, yes. And then someone comes in and steals his thunder. I just cry laughing because I'm like, that's because you on your own side. Like
Yeah.
he provides endless entertainment for me, honestly.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, I know his nephew Omi, the pisser, the guy that pissed on Blackthorn, is loyal to his uncle. But how do you feel about him? Because he was, plotting and scheming as well. Like, hey, man, while Toranaga is away, all of these guns and cannons are part of your artillery. They're part of your property. You own them. If you're worried about Ishido, thinking you betrayed them, you can offer them up as a gift, as a present, And so, I don't know. I mean, you can comment on that if you want to, but I don't know exactly where Omi is going to end up as well, as far as loyalty, to Toranaga or to his uncle, or And I don't want to jump too far ahead. We see that he's probably the one that gave the idea to Nagokata, if that's his name.
Nagakado.
Yeah, Nagokado, Toranaga's son. But you have any feelings for Omi, or you don't think we know him enough yet?
I think I love that this episode, like obviously the first episode, we're like, oh, he's like likes to piss on folks. That's great. But at this point, I think we're really seeing he's for himself on the bigger picture. Yabushige is for himself on little small things. He's that kid that lies about stuff you don't even have to lie about. Like, why are you lying? Like, that's like, lie about something that means something. Like, you just lying to have to breathe out air. Like, why? Like Omi is about the bigger picture. He's about himself, I believe. I believe he would backstab his uncle if it's in his interest, but he's about the way bigger picture, whereas his uncle just tells little stupid lies. Where Omi's very, because it took, he hasn't been in the picture, but he is I'm going to sit back and I'm going to watch. He observes before he makes a move. He really looks at everyone and goes, my uncle's an idiot, so he's going to do that. But I think if I can talk to you and really get to the heart of your sad daddy issues, I could get you to start a war. Like, I think that's the game that Omi is playing. And that's he's not so sensitive in the area of pride. Yabushige, you could affect his pride quickly. Yeah. Like, if that was Omi commanding his army to chant his name and then someone came in, I don't think he'd care, because he's like, that's okay, because in 18 months I'm going to have you like in a chokehold. That's fine. He's in it for the long game, is what I think. It's at this point.
I can dig it. I can definitely dig it. Thank you for that. One of the things I'm really glad about, happy about, is, this is the actual time that they're telling this story. In this episode, we get to see the army, the forces, and they don't just have swords, samurai swords and bows and arrows. They're used to guns. They said that they got guns from the Portuguese like 40, 50 years ago. So Mariko's like, hey, part of your agreement as Haramato Anjin, Barbarian Blackthorn, is, we want you to teach us tactics that our enemies won't know. We don't need to learn how to reload and put the gunpowder in there. We passed all that. I'm very glad about. I'm very happy about that. That like, oh, what is a trigger? Like, how do you hold the gun? I'm just so happy that like, okay, we know the basics. Okay, teach us something that we don't know. So that was pretty cool right there. And he was up a creek. He lied on his resume. They got him on the spot right there, like, hey man, we need this PowerPoint presentation. You know what I'm saying? It's on you.
You don't know Excel.
And he lied a little bit, and I like how Mariko called him out, like, whoa, Todd, when was this battle? When did it occur? 40, 50? Oh, you weren't even born. No, player, we need you to tell us something that you've actually experienced yourself. And he improvised a bit, so I got to give him that. But I was laughing like you are right now during that time. I was like, what you gonna do? But yeah,
it's like us talking about the Civil War.
Right. How did you feel about that? And he kind of I wasn't expecting him to step it up with the cannons, but he really did and impressed some folks. But yeah, how you feeling about all that right there?
I thought it was funny that he was put in that position. I like seeing everybody kind of vulnerable themselves, like Yabushige saying, okay, now this guy that you hate, he's from a place in the world you know nothing about. For all you know, he knows how to command bees to attack people. I don't know, like he's got something to learn from him, as much as you call him a dog and hate him. Right. You have to understand that outsiders do bring different perspectives. And for them, they're like, who has your country fought, and how did you guys beat your opponents? And maybe there's something we can learn from you. But like he said, look, I'm a pilot. Like, I don't really like see hand-to-hand combat, but what he falls back on is what he knows. And he may be the one driving the boat, but he's listening when as a ship. I thought pilot's a new term for me. I think captain, but as a pilot of the seas, if you will, he listened to people while they're engaging in warfare and firing off their cannons. He understands naval combat, so he falls back on what he knows. So he knows what happens on the water, and obviously, whatever fight is coming to them is on land, not by sea. But there's still tactics he can take from naval combat and apply them to the land, and that is what he's falling back on, because he realizes you cannot fake it till you make it in this situation. You need to tell us what you do know, and what he knows is what happens on the boat, and that proves to be way more efficient than Yabushige and Omi think that he can bring to the table. And I think that's great. This guy is every day he's surviving on what he knows, which is, you know, quite valuable.
Yeah, yeah, right on, right on. Little quick side note here: when Omi was getting it on with, I think her name was Kiki or Kiku. Ladies, you should know this by now, but just in case, never listen to a man say that he loves you while y'all are having sex. That's just not the best time to say that. Okay, and so you know, this it's an important lesson to learn if you haven't learned that lesson before. But as Blackthorn is teaching the regiment, you know, all these tactics and stuff, Mr. Josen pops up, one of Ishido's men. I like how bold he is. It's like, oh my gosh, Ishido's man is coming. They passed the checkpoint and they just, kicking the door in or whatever.
I was shocked. Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Nagukata was very offended by this, but shout out to Yabushige. He was able to like, damn, what am I going to do? They're asking me to come back. If I stay here, that shows my defiance. They're going to attack me next time they see me. But if I go back with them now, they're going to ask me to kill myself, commit seppuku. So what am I to do? He's very frustrated. Even though we can't trust Yabushige, it does kind of suck the position that he's in right now, because he didn't necessarily ask to be there, or at least to my understanding or comprehension. But he is doing what he needs to do, to kind of get out of the situation that he's in, and I respect him for that. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. So, we're gonna see where he ends up right there. I have a question though. Even though the ending stood out a ton, and we talked about it briefly before. I think one of my favorite scenes of the episode was when it was Mariko, Fuji, and Blackthorn getting to know each other better at the dinner table. And I don't know what he was. I don't know what that. Do you know what he was eating when he was like, "Hey, let me try that"? And Mariko was like,
"Yes."
Well, oh, okay. You know exactly what it is. She was like, "I don't think this is for you." And he was just like, "Stinky cheese." What was that? What you tell me? Because I am lost right now.
Yeah, it's a dish called natto, which is fermented soybeans. And so when it gets you also, to my understanding, you put other things in it. And I looked it up. This isn't because I just know it off the top of my head. I looked it up because I'm like, that looks like oatmeal. It's super slimy. And I guess usually it's eaten in breakfast, but you mix up with other things and you let it ferment. And so it does get stinky and it gets slimy. And so it's fermented soybeans. And so at first I thought it was like escargot or something like that, because I was like, what are they eating? But that was delicious looking. That looked great.
Is that some little bit of sarcasm right there?
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I love trying different foods, and sometimes I am delightfully surprised. I love traveling, and I'm that person that if I'm in another country, I'm like, let's do it. I will try it all once, as long as it doesn't run in my mouth, which in some places you can eat live this or that. I will try it. So I like that he's being adventurous. I've had, brains and
Oh,
Lots of interesting things. Because if I'm in another country, I'm kind of one of those like, why not? Like, okay, let's.
oh,
All right, I
oh.
would have tried it. I would have tried it.
I was about to ask it. I was about to say, Kim, would you eat it yourself? And you just answered
Yeah,
me. So yeah, that's
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. For the most part, I can say I'm not gonna eat chitlins. There's just some things I'm not. Oh, I'm gonna kick you off if you say yes. You
What?
eat chitlins? You eat please.
Right, 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 right. Look, my people's is from Arkansas. My people's is from the
Oh
Arkansas. Okay,
no.
you after you wash it real good, you gotta
Oh
hit
my
it with that lemon juice,
God.
and then you gotta hit it with the green
Yeah.
peppers, and then you gotta top it off with that red rooster. Don't
Oh,
let the Cali fool you. I'm an Orange County girl at heart, but my people's is from Arkansas. I gets down with some chitlins. I gets down with some chitlins. Come
Kim,
on, get that red rooster on there.
I
Come
knew it. I
on,
was just
that's a
gonna
bowl
say
full
hot
of
sauce next. I
happiness.
am so disappointed. What? I never would have guessed in a million years. I knew you were just gonna answer like, oh hell no. Blah, blah, blah,
Don't
blah.
let the don't let the OC fool you. Like,
I'm
yes,
really
I'm about
hoping.
that Laguna Beach life, but
I'm really
my
hoping that
people's
when
is
we
from
stop this
Arkansas.
recording, you're gonna be like, B, I was just messing with you. I just said that to get some laughs. Oh wow.
No,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
no.
Y'all hear
That
me?
red. It's all about that red bucket. It's about that red bucket.
I'm a clip this. Where are we at? The 36
Comment.
minutes?
First of all, comment down below if you feel me. Okay.
I am gonna
Okay.
clip. I'm
Green
gonna clip
peppers.
this right here. Kimberly eats chitlins, y'all. Oh my God, this is at the 36-minute mark. We're gonna get some man. I'm shocked. I'm shocked, but I'm gonna let you look it. I knew you couldn't be perfect. There's something about Kim that she's perfect, and we found out right now that she eats chitlins. So anyway, I'm teasing. I'm shocked, but I'm teasing anyway.
I
Um,
know you.
Man. Anyway, how'd you feel about the jacuzzi scene?
The
Blackthorn
jacuzzi
goes to
scene.
yeah. Talking about
I
London.
thought it London town. I thought it was a beautiful moment. I thought it was one of those moments where cultures transcend. It transcends communication between human beings, transcends your region and where you're from and how many passport stamps you have. Look, the peace and quiet of taking a walk with somebody's company you enjoy is beautiful for everyone, whether you're from London or Osaka or wherever you are in the world. There are some things that are completely universal, and I love storytelling that includes that. And that's a very human experience. I think any of us who have had conversations with somebody who is completely outside of your race, your culture, and there's so many different things that we can talk about of our differences, but at the end of the day, as humans, there's so much that we can relate to.
Mhm.
And I thought that the hot springs was a beautiful example of that, of she's like, what is London like, is it busy, is it this, is it that? But when he talked about, there's a river that splits the town in half, and at night it's gorgeous. And she said, well, what would if I were there, what would we do?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
he says, we take a walk. And you can just see that peace come upon her when she thinks about, look, no matter where you are in the world, we all know what it's like to take a walk with someone whose company you enjoy. And I think that was beautiful. And I'm all about cultures. I mean, you know that. I've been very expressive about that. I'm all about cultures coming together and how at the end of the day we actually have the more important things in common than we do differences. And I thought for a woman who has so much power outside of the house, yet is belittled by her husband in
Mhm.
her house
Mhm.
and disrespected in front of her son. It's nice to talk to a man who wants to talk to you about stuff you actually like. And what I like is that Blackthorn, and you get this in the scene when he realizes that Yuki is now his consort. He's about his business. He's like, I don't want a woman. I don't want to be pillowed, and I don't want to pillow nobody, and I don't want no bing bong king kong. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to get my ship and my men and like conquer the Portuguese. That's all I'm thinking about. And so
Right,
I
right.
like that he this isn't one of those like I planned this and I knew she'd be walking down the street,
Yeah.
so I just
It
thought
was
I'd
genuine. Yeah.
disrobe. He was like, oh shit, like I I like that he wasn't, this was a human moment. This wasn't, oh, I like her, I'm trying to get in her pants. This was two human beings talking about something that they love and something that's truly beautiful. There was no game here. I love
Oh, yeah,
that.
Kim.
There was no game.
Not only was Blackthorn's delivery of London lovely, and they're saying you knocking it out of the park right now, you know, with all your femininity and just your little mannerisms.
Look at all y'all who be getting in my DMs talking about, girl,
Oh
let me
my
come out there and
God.
see
You
you. I
understand,
like
Kim?
this simple.
It's
It's this simple thing. It's the simple
I love
thing.
it. I love it. My goodness, that smile is incredible. That's what's you're killing it right now. Because he was like, yeah, we get some stuff, food, we go see a play, you know, of romance or drunken, was it drunken lord or drunken?
Everyone has theater.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and go take a walk and do this and do that. It was a lovely moment. It was a lovely moment. And I was thinking, because he, you know, like it wasn't game, it was just a genuine, pure moment, and they was feeling each other. I think the last episode, he was like, you know, people have energy, men and women have energy, and they definitely did right there. They kind of just you know attracted to each other like magnets. And she was eating it all up. They was back to back, and you know, just and that's another thing that made it so intimate is that the imagination. They wasn't looking at each other; it was just words, you know. And so I kind of thought that I was like, hey, you know, this may be where things pop off between them. And actually, the way I like how it ended up from where it started, because she was troubled talking about her past and was having flashbacks about, you know, all the atrocities that happened to her back in the day. And she was like, you know, I never got any resolution. Blackthorn could tell that that was an uncomfortable moment. So he was like, let me switch it up on you and talk about something nice and pleasant. And he did, because he got her smiling ear to ear like you are right now. So shout out to Blackthorn. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna see how this all plays out, but that was a beautiful scene between them two.
Take
So
notes, gentlemen. Take
yes, yeah,
notes. It's
yes,
better when you don't come with a bunch of game. Like, just have
right,
a conversation about how
right.
you like chilling.
Oh, you had to ruin it. You was doing
You
good.
had to go there. You just had to say it.
I'm teasing, I'm teasing. Let me ask you this though. The spoiled brat, what is his name? Naga Kado. Do
Nagakato.
you feel that he had a good reason to be offended by Josen's presence? Like, do you think he was tripping?
Oh man, that kid.
Like,
Look,
show him
what
the
I
presentation for what? Why are you here? You know, like, was that necessary to you?
I look, I kind of don't blame him.
Okay.
Or maybe I just understand where he was coming from in the sense of for months he's been in Osaka with his dad. And as we can see how much power Toranaga has and how respected he is, I
Mhm.
mean, Yabushige's army was huge, but his father's army is 10 times that size. So it's like your father's a king, your father's the man. You grew up with him, he's the man. He doesn't answer to anyone. We just be knocking people down and taking names. Like, that's who my dad is. When he went to Osaka, he had to watch his father eat dirt every day.
Yeah.
He had
Yeah.
to watch his father get disrespected,
Yeah.
knowing how powerful and honorable he is every day. He had to watch this board of regents, these lord of regents, insult him
Yeah.
and put him in a place where his father is saying stuff like, "Oh, the insult you gave me, I'm actually very grateful for it. Thank you for saying that. My pants are on backward." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just had to eat insult for days and days and days. And I don't know
Mhm.
exactly how long he was in Osaka, but his son is at that age where
Yeah.
he either wants to ride next to his dad, he's going from boy to man, and he's at that age where it's about his testosterone and his hormones and power, you know. But like add all the hormones of a teenage boy, but then give him a father that everyone bows to the ground when he walks in the room.
Mhm.
Can you really deny that that in a position where his dad's not there, and somebody comes from that place where they held your dad as a 5-star prisoner, and my dad was brave and wise enough to escape. Can you really blame him for seeing somebody from that situation and going, oh, so you're back. Oh, you're back. Okay, so my father's not here. That's okay. I will handle this. I expected him to maybe just be disrespectful and maybe even like a foolish boy brandish his weapon. But I wasn't ready for spaghetti.
Right. There were, but before we get there, there was nobody there to check him either. Because I mean, you know, Yabashige, I mean, what are you gonna say? If anything, they may be at the same level. I mean, they're on his land. So I guess he was because Toranaga wasn't there. He went back to Edo doing whatever he's doing. So there was really nobody there to just to like, hey, dude, you know, chill out. Like, what are you doing? You know, because he's up there, you know, highborn. So yeah, that's excuse me, that's interesting right there. So yeah, but before we get there though, I just also want to comment, and maybe we did already, but I like that Fuji gave Blackthorn the swords. You know, because
so cool.
that's a big move right there. Giving him your daddy's swords, not just some swords, but your daddy's swords. Like that's a big deal. You know, like that's textbook of definition of sentimental value right there, in my opinion. You know, and
that's
you know,
incredible.
Yeah. So
because he could go back to England, like that's
6 months. I'm out.
But you have to think, yeah, like but he's honoring her and showing kindness. And if you think her own husband was yelling at her because of his own damn fault, they had to kill their new baby. He was yelling at her for not wanting that to happen. So when you've had so much unkindness shown to you, and then you have this person come in who doesn't even really know you, and he's respecting you and being like I'm sure she probably expected to be raped. Like, you know, I'm his consort now. Oh, great, he's going to use me and abuse me. He's like, I actually don't want to even like touch you. I just have stuff to do. I'm not even thinking about you. And when he is thinking about you, he's being kind to you. So
he told us, you don't have to be here. And Marika was like,
he's like, you don't even have to wake up when I wake up.
Right. Go to sleep. And you know, Marika's like, oh, it's not polite for you know your consort to be asleep while you're awake. And he's like, man, go take a nap.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Do you think that Blackthorn was bothered? So when they gave him the other consort and they woke up the next morning or towards the end of the episode, you know, Fuji's on the right.
What other consort?
The person that Blackthorn slept with.
That was Mariko.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't think so, Kim.
That was Mariko.
Kim, we talked about hello. Are you sure?
That's what I was saying. She got a funny way of agreement about to get that Ilna. Yes, that was Mariko.
Hold on, y'all let us know in the comments in the chat.
Bro. That's why I told you she was out there looking for some strange. Like that was Mariko, bro. Then she woke up and was like, "You happy?" And he's like,
I think that was just some other random. I think they just go found somebody that had to go knock them off. Kim, are you sure?
That was Mariko, bro.
Hold on, Kim. Hold on, cause
bro. That was Mariko.
Go back and listen to the dialogue and the tone of and the tone.
She was being cheeky. It's like she was being cheeky.
She was like, "I hope that you enjoyed your gift." And what I was gonna ask you was, do you think that Blackthorn was bothered by the fact that Mariko wasn't bothered that he slept with another woman? Because I think he was catching feelings. That's what I was going to ask you.
No.
I don't think that was Mariko.
Bro. Let me put you on. Okay, this is what happened.
Okay.
She was like, So this is me after 11:30. And then the next morning she was being cheeky and she's like, so how do you like the guest here? Entertainment's great, isn't it? Right? She was
Wow.
being cheeky. And then he was saying, oh, it's so, having Yuki here, like taking care of the house, like this is amazing. And he was trying to tell her, like, yeah, my guest is great. Like he was being very like, yeah, you were awesome. And he was like, you're not gonna like, he thought she was gonna maybe tell Marika, like Yuki, like, you're good, like we're together. Like, and he was like, oh, you're still gonna make me have a consort? I thought we were. And she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's crazy. Like she was playing with him, dude. She was just being
So
playful. That was her.
yeah, she was being playful. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and watch it. I feel silly, because you're very confident right now, and of course, women more than I. Um,
No,
I,
but look, I
kind of,
only here's it.
kind of a
I'm
chick.
with you because I had to. I only caught it was her the second time around. The first time around, I thought it was Yuki, and then the next morning, I was very confused. I'm right there with you, Brandon. The next morning, their conversation, I was really confused. I was like, "Girl, what?" And then the second time I watched it, I was like, "Girl, all
I'm gonna put
right."
that in the title.
Like
Who is Blackthorn? Like we're gonna take a poll. That's what we're
they
gonna do.
smashed. You have to watch it again.
Okay.
Okay. You
Okay.
got to take a poll. Who I
Yeah.
really want to know who caught on and who thinks it was somebody
Who was
else. But
knocking the
no,
boot?
that was
I got to try to do it in
that
non-spoiler
was
as well.
Mariko Sama.
I,
Mariko Sama was getting it on it.
huh. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see. I'll take your word for it. Y'all let us know what y'all think. But we got to talk about the spaghetti, Kim. Man, that was a lot of spaghetti. That was a lot of sauce.
Sheesh.
A lot of
That was a
meatball.
lot of sauce.
I did not expect that. Was it Nagakato? He learned quick. He had that accuracy on point. You know what I'm saying? Cleared
He
away.
so did. Oh my
Goodness
gosh.
gracious, that was crazy.
Whoa.
That was crazy.
Whoa.
Look at people like, what are you doing? Oh my God, stop it! Who ordered this? I mean, and his men were loyal to him. I mean, they would be because you just had two clans
They
in a
can't say
way.
no to him. They can't say
Yeah,
no to him.
yeah. You can't say, you had Yabushige's men and Taranaga's men, going through his son, but this dude here done set off all the fireworks. And it made it perfect too. Just blew their ass up, got the men going over there, stabbing them, finishing off the job. You a savage. It's not how samurai fight. Like, Kim, man, what are your thoughts and what's gonna happen next? This is crazy.
Bro, this kid, like, I expected him to be respectful. I expected him to be like, well, F you. Like, my dad's in charge. Like, so what? Like, I expected him maybe to pull out his sword and the grown men to be like, boy, please, would you just please put that away? You are embarrassing yourself and us. Like, that's as far as I thought he would go. But then he got that crazy eyes and he got that look in his eye where it's like, why is he staring at me? Like, why your face not moving, man?
Right.
Like, he got that look in his eye. Because up until that point, I was like, he's just a hormonal bratty teen whose daddy is in power. But that's some psychopath stuff.
Yeah, man.
That's some real, like, and what's funny is I mean, Yabashige has done some evil stuff. I kind of don't even see Yabashige doing that. Like,
Right,
for some
right.
reason, maybe because he just likes hand-to-hand combat, or he even though he's cruel, I don't know. Even with his rules, like I feel like he was like, look, I'm crazy, but you're crazy,
Right.
like that was unhinged,
Yeah.
and he wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing to blow one cannon and be like, all right, now you go back and you tell them what you saw. You see what I can do? But it's another thing. First of all, how many cannons do you have to waste? Like, aren't these all from the ship? Like, first of all. But that was so psychotically unhinged.
Yeah.
Not just stupid. Like stupid would have been out pulling his sword and going, "My dad's in charge." That's stupid.
There you go.
This was like, this was some Hitler stuff. This was some, but what got me was what Yabashige was like. What?
Yeah.
Like, look, you know you're messed up when the crazy guy when the crazy ass guy tells you that's nuts. Did you just make spaghetti out of him? Like that, he was like, that was fucking what?
Yeah.
Like this kid, whoa, this kid is nuts. And what scares me is it's one thing for Toranaga to understand, and he's already told his son, like, son, you don't understand. Like, look, I know Yabashige betrays me every day. Like, I already know that. But I'm just playing the game. He already knows his son is foolish and young. But I don't even think that Toranaga knows that his son possibly kills cats at 5 o'clock every evening. And buries them in his drawer. Like, that kid's nuts.
Yeah.
He's balls crazy.
Yeah, and this is ass whooped, definitely. So
beyond, he needs to be put in a straitjacket and him on the ship. He's nuts.
Yeah. You have any final thoughts or predictions for next week, or is that all you got?
Final thoughts are what I caught at the end of all the chaos was this utter look of delight on Omi's face. When Yabashige was freaking out and going, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Like right after this scene that you're showing, Omi was smiling like the devil. He just, at the end of that episode, his face is just utter delight.
Yeah.
And Mariko is going like, you don't understand. Like, this is like there's no conversations to be had. There's no treaties to sign. This is war. Like, this is war. This wasn't even an act of like, oh, you disrespected me and there should be consequences. No, like the next thing you should expect is 1 million guys to come over that ridge. This is war. Oh my God. And Omi is just in utter delight. I leave you with that because that says so much about what could possibly happen in the next episode. Oh my gosh. We know now you see the game that Omi's playing. Oh yeah, he's in the long haul. He's yikes.
Yeah, this is nuts. Dude. This is nuts. But thank you for that, Kim. But guys, that is gonna wrap it up for our Shogun episode 4 recap review, the Eightfold Fence. Please, in the comment section, let us know what you thought about the episode. Let us know what you thought about our commentary. Let us know what you thought about the Spaghetti Fest towards the end and who was smashing Blackthorn. Was it Fuji? Was it Mariko? Was it some other random in the village? I'm trying to find out. Kimberly thinks it was Mariko getting it in, and I am not 100%, but we're going to talk about it next time and in the comments. Again, if you love what we had to say, follow both of us on social media. Our handles are on the screen. Kimberly's information will be in the description box of this video. Also, show her some love. Subscribe to her YouTube channel. And if you're watching this on her channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel. But before we head out of here, Kimberly, what do you have for, what do you want to let the good people know what you got going on your lovely channel?
You guys, we have got to get Brandon to 50,000 subscribers. He is so close to 50,000. Let's make that happen. I know a lot of us may not use Facebook anymore, but our older relatives do. And so make sure you share this link on Facebook. You guys share Brandon's stuff on your Instagram. Like, at this man, like, show him some love on social media. Please, this show is fantastic. I love this community. It's so great to share this show with you. Thanks for having me. And you guys give me a follow. For sure, subscribe, but let's get Brandon to 50,000.
Well, thank you very much, Kim. Since you brought it up, yeah, I'm at 49,824. So, hopefully I can get there with a lot of the Oscar coverage that I've been covering. So that's by the time you see this video, yeah, the Oscars would be out by now. What won for Best Picture? Was it Oppenheimer? Was it Anatomy of a Fall? Was it Barbie? Was it The Holdovers? Was it Killers of the Flower Moon? Was it Past Lives or any of the other ones that I haven't mentioned? Subscribe, go check out all my Oscar videos, check out my non-spoilery review for the first 10 episodes of this. And this your first time joining, go back and check out our recap for episodes 1, 2, and 3. I think that's all we got. So, guys, again, we want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that I'm B. Avery, that's Kim, and that's just our opinion. Peace out, and we'll see you next time.